Hey y'all, I'm Alex from Soil Mates of Georgia, and today I'm building a self-watering container. I have a few of them sitting here that I've made, or a couple that I've made. This one's store-bought, but I like these bigger ones, so I'm going to show you how I did it and some advantages that I see for why I use them versus just a regular pot. Although I do have some regular pots, I prefer these when I have the time to make them. So let's get to it. I'm going to start off and just show you what materials I use to build my self-watering containers. The obvious, most important thing is the container. So what we use is just a big 27-gallon tote from Home Depot. Susie just made one. If you saw her introduction video, she has a huge one. I don't even know how big it is, but it's at least twice this. I think it was a 54, so that would be twice. But these are good for just planting a couple of things. She has a lot going on in hers, so she went with the bigger one. Other little things, I'll start over here. I have my drill and my little saw. Two different size PVC pipes. One is 3/4 inch. That is for my fill tube and drain tube. And then the bigger one, I think I went with 2 inches this time, is for bringing in the water from the basin in the bottom. So that is, that's 1.5 inch now, see it? That gets filled with dirt. I'll show you how it all works, but I just want to show you what you need. Like I said, that one's 1.5 inch. I've used 2 inches and I think bigger in one of them, but I decided to try a smaller one so it would work. So far it's been good. On the other side over here, just some basic stuff. Here's just some scrap I had before, so I can save myself one cutting from the drain tube. And always have to be able to measure stuff. Have my Sharpie to mark my cuttings. Not that any of it, much of it has to be very precise. And a cap. So at the end, when I have my fill tube, I'll put a cap over it. And just that simple cap, and I keep a loose one. I get one that's bigger than the actual PVC pipe. That cap keeps mosquitoes from going in there. And then also I have some scouring pads, or yeah, I guess that's what they are. And I use those to put in the drain tube, keep slugs from crawling in there. So just a little extra thing that helps. But I'll get to it. I'll show you kind of the steps, and hopefully it turns out right again. Okay, so now that I have all my pieces cut, I can start putting it all together. So I'm going to show you just what I did, because I know it's hard to tell in that 30 seconds or so of time lapse. But I cut these pieces right about 3 inches. They're all going to stack in here and give support to the floor, which I'll put in a second. This piece, see how it's cut at an angle there? That's going to go through the floor, which just reminded me I haven't cut a hole in the floor yet. That's going to go through the floor and be filled with soil. I'm going to pack it in with soil, so when the bottom is full of water, that's going to be able to be in contact down here with the water. That's why you have to do it at an angle. If it's flush, it might not let the water in as much, but just giving a little bit, even if it's just, you see I did about a half, something like that, just to give a notch where the water has plenty of access to get in there. But then the water can get to the soil, soil can come up and wick. That's what's called a self-wicking tub or self-watering tub, but it wicks through here and gets the rest of the soil that's in the rest of the bulk of it as a layer. So I just did 3 inches. One of my other ones I did 2.5 inches, so it doesn't have to be precise. I did 3 on this one because I'm doing squash. I know they drink a lot of water with their long vines, and so I wanted to have a little bit more water in there. If I skip a day or two of watering, sometimes there's still plenty for them to drink. Now I need to go back and cut the hole in my floor, which you'll see. I'll grab my floor here. It's going to just sit floats right down in there. I'll put a hole right here in the middle. Just drill a hole there. And I'll also need to put a drain hole on the side and a place for my other tube. This is my tube for putting water in, input tube, I guess. I have the same angle down there on the bottom, or not the same angle, but an angle down there. That allows the water to go in and not get clogged up, because if I'm filling it up and there's no, if it's flush, if it was just like that on the bottom, the water wouldn't drain in. But having it at an angle, even if it's pushed down hard on the bottom, the water can drain through. And I can fill it up easily without having to wet my leaves on the top. Then the water still comes up from the bottom. So I've got to go back, cut the hole in the bottom of this, cut a drain hole, and I think those are my final 2 cuts. But as I often do when I do this, I will remember what I missed. Oh yeah, third one over here I just said. Oh, worth noting, what I do is put the drain hole on the same side as the entrance tube. I'll show you why. I didn't always do it that way. So over here, I did. So the drain hole's here. I'm watering it here. I can look over, make sure it's draining. On these, I did with the blueberries. I put the input hole over here, but I can't really see, especially as these leaves get so big, I can't see all the way over here without stretching my back. But now that I'm here, I could eat a couple of blueberries. Oh my goodness. Sorry for the interruption, those are amazing. So good. Okay. So I've done it on a couple of them. I didn't do it the right way, 3 of them. This one's a different type. I'll get to that another day. That one's not right. So I've only done it right on a couple of them, but I've learned my lesson now that I've walked around and done this a few times. There's another one I did right. So all the ones I've done this year, I've done the right way. Put the water in here, drains here, really easy. All right, I'll take a break and cut the holes, and I'll catch back up as I'm putting it all together. All right, so now I have everything cut. I have my 3-inch pieces on the bottom. They're gonna be support. I have my drain hole on the side, and with that, I already filled it with steel wool. So that's gonna keep out the slugs. Easy part next. I already have my drain, my floor in here. See how easy that just drops in? Just fits in where it's supposed to go, because it's the lid from this. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but it's the lid that goes with the tub. Cut the hole in the middle. I have my soil wicking tube in the middle. I'll pack that with soil first. I can use the fill tube. That's what this is going to be. I have this cut for the hole down here on the side. That slides in there. Drop in my cap to keep the mosquitoes out. I'm set now. All I have to do is pack the soil in here, pack all the soil around here, and I'm set. I have the area to fill. It's easy lift. Like I said, this is an inch cap. This is 3/4 of an inch PVC. So it just rests on there easily. I've never had a problem with wind blowing it off or any critters getting to it, knocking it off. So hopefully that's not famous last words, but I'll fill all the dirt in here and get my seeds in, get it filled with water. Obviously, this gets pretty heavy when you're filled with water and soil, so I definitely suggest putting it in place first. And I'm gonna put it somewhere up on my hill up here. These are all of my containers that I've had so far. I think, if you saw my introduction video, I think my bell peppers that are up there, I think they need to make the move down here. I didn't think they got enough sun there, but I've decided they do, partly because I need the space up there. But I'll move that around next. All right, I'm in the final steps now of completing my container, my self-watering container. And so I've just been dumping dirt in here. Just get a few handfuls and throw it in here. Then I like to pack it in this tube. Just kind of gives it a better wick to come up. If it's just loose in there, for some reason the water just doesn't come up. Somebody who knows more about physics can explain that better than I can. I'm gonna fill it in. I'll just dump it in with a shovel, but you can see holes. That's where I made a mistake on the cut over on this side, but there are little gaps around here. I thought about filling that in before with a permeable plastic, like a ground cover kind of plastic. Just keep the soil in place. It doesn't fall through, so I don't do that anymore. And it gives a little bit more air to come through, so I leave it as it is, and it works out. All right, folks, that's how I build a self-watering container. I hope it helped y'all, give you some ideas. Here are the ones that I have in my garden already. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's one down there and a feeder, 7. And up on my hill here, 8, 9, 10. There are actually 2 there, it's hard to see. And this one is the one I just did. So hopefully that helped y'all. Let me know if you have any tips for how I could improve them. And in the meantime, please go ahead and like and subscribe. We could use your support. Thanks, bye.